All right, welcome to another episode of Key Biscayne Stories, where neighbors meet neighbors. Today we have Mary Tague and Francis Reaves, co-chairs of the Key Biscayne Car Week. We're going to learn all about the Car Week. What is that all about? And then, of course, Mary and Francis. So welcome on the show, ladies. How are you ladies doing today?
We're
Thank
great.
you. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. This is going to be an interesting topic. I didn't know we had a car week, so I can't wait to learn all about it. But first, let's get to know you ladies a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Mary, would you like to go first?
Well, my name is Mary Tague. I own Toy Town on Key Biscayne, Florida. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary. I moved down to Key Biscayne from Chicago 41 years ago. My job transferred. I was with the real estate development company. I was 5, yeah. I was with the
Your parents brought you.
I was with the real estate development company, and they transferred me down to do Southeast Financial Center downtown. And then I met my husband down here, and I was non-transferable to the next job. I have two girls who are now 33 and 34. And this toy store that used to be Bristol's Toys back that started in 1954 became available for sale. So I bought it with a friend of mine, again, 25 years ago. And then I bought her out after 3 years because she was still having kids. And so I've been having fun with the toy store ever since.
I mean, the Toy Town has been around for 25 years. I mean, that is longer than I have been in the Key. I've been in the Key for 23 years. So
I remember you when you were a little guy. But I hate this word, but I have to say we're iconic.
Almost historical. Yeah, iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic. I like that. But
Yeah.
25 years anniversary. So congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a big party, and it was themed Harry Potter because it was also Harry Potter's 25-year unveiling of the first book by J.K. Rowling. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Francis was here.
I was.
And we are currently at the toy store on the second floor doing the interview, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So Francis, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I graduated from law school here in Key Biscayne at University of Miami a long time ago, 1989. And I lived on the Key during law school. My rent set off was living with an older lady. So that sort of started my journey to what I do now, which is elder law. And I do everything for elder law, but my true avocation is as their advocate. I do a lot of advocacy work. I've done it with Commissioner Regalato. I've done it with Nikki Freed, our agricultural commissioner. I'm always reminding them that old people were once children. And there are no 501c3s for our elders. So and then Mary and I just know each other from the Key.
So the Car Week. Let's dive into the Car Week. Like as I mentioned before, I didn't know we had one. So
Yeah.
What is it? How did it start? Tell us a little about that.
Go ahead.
Well, in fact,
Is that a dog?
yeah.
Yes, it's not me.
Yeah, no, I knew it.
It's not us. Okay, here. Come here.
What type of dog is it?
She's a little Westie.
It's not us. It's Darla.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds like a dog.
Darla's our mascot.
She likes cars.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So let me answer the question again.
Fast dogs.
Say what?
Fast cars and fast dogs. That's our
Put a
dog.
dog in each car.
We
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double
you can do
duty.
that. Yeah, we can partner with the county, adopt a pet, and then we can bring dogs.
I love it. And
Mhm.
we're animal dog lovers here.
So the Car Week. Let's jump straight in and talk about the Car Week. What is that? How did it start? Tell us the story.
Well, the story pretty much is I was getting up one morning and
That's a good thing.
the phone rang, and it was a friend of mine, Anna, and she said,
Brad?
her husband had called me, and he kept saying, I'm wondering if you can help Emerson out. I'm wondering if you can, he has this vision for, this car week, where, sort of a show, an exhibition, and he wants to give money to the Miami project
to cure paralysis.
to cure paralysis.
Okay.
And then he kept talking about Emerson. And I said, are we talking about Emerson Fittipaldi? He said, yeah. Like, who else would we be talking about? And I'm thinking to myself,
Is
why
there
would
another
I?
Emerson?
Why-
Is
yeah.
there another Emerson?
From Fittipaldi Way on 11th Street in Brickell?
Yeah. I don't
And
know. I don't know.
So he said, well, I said, yeah, I think I know just the person to help us there. And I got out of bed, came over here and asked Mary.
And of course, she wasn't quite sure who Emerson Fittipaldi was, even though she did win some money on a raffle
That's
that she did at
another
one of the
funny-
races.
Yeah, that's a
But-
funny story.
So she came and asked me if I was interested in putting together that we didn't even know exactly what it was going to be at the time, but was I interested in doing it with Emerson Fittipaldi? I said, are you kidding? Emerson Fittipaldi? I'm in. All for it. Because I actually knew Emerson from way back because he was a customer at my store with his many children that he's got, and now
7, right?
grandchildren. Yeah.
Yes, 7
Yeah.
children.
So I was very excited when Francis reeled me in, even though with a couple bumps along the road, I wanted to jump right out again, but we worked it all out.
We've all worked it out. Yeah, no, it's really been a fun journey. And what Mary was talking about was in 1993, I went to the Indy 500. We were guests of a large engine manufacturer, my husband and I. And we'd all picked out, we put $20 in. I think each one of us put $20 in, and then we picked out a number and a race car driver. And my race car driver was Emerson Fittipaldi. And in 1993, that was the second time he won the Indy 500. And so I made a whole bunch of money. And now here I am, his co-chair.
It's gone full circle.
I betted on you. I knew your vision before you even won.
It's true.
There you go.
And Mary is a huge race car fan. We'll have to send you this great article that they did on her when she, well, you tell them the story about racing your own car.
I'll make it quick. As I told you, I worked for a real estate development company, and we did the Southeast Financial Center downtown. And I don't know if you know the building, but it's notorious for its corkscrew entrance into the parking garage. It's like 3 stories of just circular going up with nothing. You can't see anything. It's just concrete walls all the way up. So people freaked out when they first got in the garage and never knew when it was going to spit out again. So with that notorious garage, when the Miami Grand Prix was downtown, this was 1985, they asked us at the building if they could have the race car driver race the car through the garage because it had such a history and everybody hated it. And I said, yeah, sure, that's good PR for our company and good PR for you guys. So I completely forgot about it. I told the guys to keep the gates open, downstairs, the ticket takers, so he could freely drive through and race the car in the garage. So I was leaving work that day, completely forgot about it. I'd come out, I'm coming down the circuit, the corkscrew, and then practically spit out into the bottom of the garage, almost run into the race car. And I was like, oh my God. I go, hey guys, so how's it going? Of course, they didn't know who I was because I was just a voice on the phone. They said, it's not going really well. Like it's falling kind of flat. We need some zinger to it. And they go, would you like to race a car through the garage? I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, it was my dream to be a race car driver. So I hardly got my car in park and then jump out of my car, get into the race car, and the Miami Herald reporter jumps in next to me, and I'm positioning myself to go up the corkscrew, and then there's a guy at the very front starting to time me. and the reporter was asking me questions. I'm like, shut up. I got to concentrate. If he's timing me, I got to really, do this forcefully. So I get in, I go through the corkscrew all the way through the garage. I'm feeling really good about my time. I get to where the ticket takers are, the bastards had the gates down, so I had to come to a full stop, and I'm like, what? My arms are flailing outside, and so then I come down the corkscrew. I was like, you guys, I got to do it over again. I lost at least a minute up there with the stupid ticket takers. They go, no, lady, you beat the race car driver's time by 54 seconds. I was like, what? Yeah, that was my claim to fame,
Yeah.
Done and over. My 15 minutes of fame, and I was over in my 20s.
I think it was a half hour.
No, but it was so much fun. So we did a big write-up in
The article is
the
great.
Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that wrote the article is kind of tongue-in-cheek, and I'll send you there. It's a fun thing. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
What about you?
Hmm?
And Francis, have you jumped on a car before?
I've done the NASCAR,
Yeah.
Okay.
but
That's
I've also
cool.
skydived, and what I try really hard to do are sports with hard-bodied men, like skydiving with a hard-bodied guy, NASCAR driving with a hard-bodied guy, those
Clean.
kind of things.
Clean.
Clean.
Gotcha.
I didn't talk about men's parts.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So the first Key Biscayne Car Week that we had was in 2019. Back on subject now. And so it was met with such great attendance and such enthusiasm. I mean, it was beyond what we could even imagine.
Our
and
expectations.
our expectations. And part of that is that when you introduced us, we were also going to introduce Francis and I are co-chairs for the Key Biscayne Car Week, and then Emerson is the chair, and Sally Stoyanovich is our producer, and Francis brought him in 2019, and he's the one that helped make the success that it was. But it's a 3-day event which starts on Friday, and we have a sponsor cocktail to be announced as we had at the Yacht Club in 2019. And then Saturday, we have the whole presentation of all the collectible cars, race cars, old vintage cars on the Village Green. And then kind of spits over where the rec center is, where we had go-kart races, because in the racing industry, you have if you're going to be a race car driver, you start as a go-kart racer, which is what actually Emerson's son, Emo, started as a go-kart racer, and he kind of led.
Victoria did too.
Yeah, and Victoria too. Victoria isn't racing anymore, but Emo, his son, is now 15 and he's racing F4s.
Yeah.
In Italy, actually all over the world.
Yeah.
But anyway, just back to Key Biscayne Car Week. So we had the go-kart races, and then we also had McLaren test drives. McLaren was one of our sponsors, and they were nice enough to bring out a bunch of the McLaren cars that people could actually get in and test drive down Crandon Boulevard. And but just how the kickoff, I'm sorry, let me back up. The kickoff of the event was Emerson driving his Spirit of Miami car that he drove in the 1984 Grand Prix in downtown Miami. He tears it down Crandon Boulevard to kick off the whole event, and then parks it right by where the fire station is.
Yeah, the Monaco Square.
Like full of excitement. You can feel the engine in your chest, and it's a very cool kickoff.
Yeah.
And then we end with Saturday night we have a big gala event. This year we're going to have it in the new Key Biscayne Yacht Club. It's going to be pretty spectacular. And then on Sunday, we have another presentation of cars at the Crossbridge Church. And Emerson and his family give a presentation. They talk about their family and their history and
their faith.
Yeah, the faith and everything, which his faith has actually got him through a lot of things, a lot of accidents and broken backs and bones and everything else.
Punctured lungs.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he has crashed in cars, planes, and bicycles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Everything with wheels.
So, I mean, really, Rosanna, his wife, we told her, I don't know why you even biked with him. Of course he was going to crash. Hello.
And that was his worst accident, the bicycle accident.
Yeah.
Incredible.
When
And it wasn't even going fast. For
It was
sure.
over the Key Biscayne Bridge, too,
Yeah,
coming
it was
down the
a William
bridge.
Powell Bridge. Yeah, it's so funny. Emerson and his crashes. And I
Man.
think he crashed a plane right off of Key Biscayne, right?
Yeah, Tamiami or something. Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Tamiami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
So he
his
has
son.
faith. I gotta have faith, faith, faith.
That's right. In order to survive.
Any chance to sing, maybe that'll make me famous.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the episode that really, goes viral.
Yes, I think it is. So
Yeah.
then Francis, do you want to talk about the bumps along the road with COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, bumps. What about our first year? How many times did we have to change the date?
Yeah.
Because we had Ultra, then
Oh yeah, rescheduling. Yeah, we were going to have it, and then Ultra surprises us. It was like a month before they were going to have it, that they were actually having Ultra the very weekend that we were going to have our first Key Biscayne Car Week.
And that was our second week, remember? Because the first week there was something with the boat show.
Yeah.
I mean, on and on. And so finally we just did it over Labor Day weekend.
Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, Memorial Day
Yeah.
weekend, which is coming up.
Yeah.
And it worked out. I mean, Mary and I still remember right before we went up to the gala, Mary and I are over at the Ritz. That's where we had it we're in our room, just sort of getting ready to go co-host downstairs. And we're just like, oh my God, that it worked.
We pulled it off.
We did it. It worked.
Yeah.
But, and listen, we really have the real credit. Don't get me wrong. Mary and I did a lot, but Saleh was the one who put the lipstick on that pig. And oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We both arrived there and we're like, oh my God. And Saleh stayed up all night with his guys. I mean,
yeah,
he
produces everything. He produces the Art Basel. He just did the Grand Prix. He does
FanFest down in Miami Beach. Yeah, that was
does the swim week, the blah blah blah. Just about every event in Miami, he is connected
function.
With. So we are very thankful that he is part of the Key Biscayne Car Week. And he actually just had, for the kickoff for the Grand Prix, he had downtown on South Beach at the Art Deco Museum, the history of racing. And Emerson came and presented, and again, they had his Spirit of Miami race car that he raced in the Miami Grand Prix in 1984. Because they used to have the Miami Grand Prix downtown Miami. I don't know, you were not born yet, but I don't know if you read the history, but yeah, they had it started in 83 and they had it for quite a few years downtown. And again, they were going to try to have it downtown this year, but then it got switched up to the Hard Rock and with Steve Ross, and it was a huge success. But now with the kickoff of the Grand Prix, reuniting itself with Miami, it makes our Key Biscayne Car Week even that much more exciting. If we can top our 2019, we are going to do it. But
it has been a journey just getting to 2022, hasn't it, Mary?
Yeah. So we of course didn't do the 2 years with COVID and then something else.
Yeah, we were ready to go get infected, but no one else was.
Our sponsors weren't really keen on
well, that's the issue. It's it's sponsor driven, and they want people there. So and I think the significance of Emerson's car, the Spirit of Miami, is that it started his second career in racing. Emerson had already been twice. He'd been an F1 grand champion. I mean, that alone is pretty amazing. He'd retired, and Ralph Sanchez, who started the Grand Prix, he was the one who coaxed Emerson to come back to Miami. And Emerson drove in the Spirit of Miami. Of course, it had, as I recall, transmission issues, so he didn't get to finish the race.
Yeah.
But then the Indy people, the Indianapolis 500 people, called him and said, "Why don't you come drive Indy cars?" And then he won the Indianapolis 500 2 times, and then he won the kart championship once. So, I mean, this is a guy who was A, born to drive, and B, in his 70s, his name is synonymous with great. I mean, whenever you see him on Instagram, Emerson's always saying, "Oh, Jackie Stewart. Oh, AJ Foyt. Oh," but I mean, those guys are like, "Oh, Emerson." And
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
also in the movie, and this is the bad word I'm going to say.
Okay.
He was
keep that down low.
he was also in the movie. He was also mentioned in the movie about the two drivers. What was his name? The German and the Englishman.
I don't recall the name.
At any rate, and the German was in a really bad accident, which he came back from, but he was in a really bad accident. So his car company called Emerson to come drive for them. And Emerson said, I'm much too worried about
my friend.
My friend. And so the guy says, F Fittipaldi, and hangs up the phone. So Emerson is really famous. He's even been in movies.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna have to meet this guy.
Oh no, you will meet him for
You'll
sure.
meet
No, we could maybe do an interview.
Yeah, we'll
with
definitely
him.
do one when he comes.
I think that would be a very good idea. But young and old. I mean, when we were at this history
Oh
of
my gosh.
racing, I mean, we had the whole. I don't know if you know where the Art Deco museum is. Great, such a charming little museum. It's on 10th and Ocean Drive.
It is
right
it's very
on
cute.
the beach side. And it's spectacular, but I mean, young and old were coming up, and they knew who Emerson was,
Right.
and just clamoring to him. And you think, oh my God, this guy is, he's racing, way, quite a while ago. But people are so
93 was
synonymous
his
with
last year.
race car driving.
He is.
Yeah.
So I stood next to him a whole lot, hoping, like
It'd
I
rub off.
Get some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rub off.
No, but so Mary and I are thrilled, really, that we have this opportunity, and Emerson, is one of the nicest, gentlest people, and he loves his family.
Yeah, he's got a lovely wife and two. With this marriage, Emo, his son, who's 15, and Victoria, who's 12.
Yeah,
or so.
12.
Yeah. So, and they're now spending a lot of time in Italy.
Yeah, she's going to school there. Victoria's in school there right now.
Yeah, and Emo is doing his F4 racing, being doomed to be following his father's footsteps, I suppose.
Well, I think what's also important is you ladies are having a lot of fun doing this. At least that's what that's the energy that I'm getting. A lot of fun doing this car week.
Yeah.
We're friends, so
we wouldn't be doing it if we weren't having fun. I mean, there's some aggravation along the way. I mean, Francis gets on my nerves a lot,
Imagine.
But no.
I need you, Mary.
Yes, I told her.
You, Mary.
I told her she needs me. Yeah. But yeah, and again, we wouldn't be doing it if we weren't having fun. And it's so delightful working with Emerson and with Sally.
Such professionals.
And just the people we've met along the way too, like the owner of there's a gentleman named Fernando who now owns the Spirit of Miami, and he's helped us out with we had to get the car. JP Morgan is one of our sponsors, and he helped us get the car to one of the forums that JP Morgan was having. They have an annual forum where they have all their big depositors and the big shots from the bank come to
Mary and I were there
a weekend.
With the car.
Yeah. But they had it at the one hotel on South Beach, and they have developed this division at JP Morgan, Pursuits and Passions. So they thought, oh, Pursuits and Passions, race cars, planes, artwork, real estate. That's all the pursuits and passions of the ultra wealthy. So the gentleman who was the head of the Pursuits and Passions had the great idea to bring race cars out for their presentation, and it was a cool thing. So Fernando helped us bring the Spirit of Miami from his Doral show, where it's showcased in Doral, and we brought that out, and there was a Red Bull there and the Mercedes
Aston Martin, and the new Aston Martin.
Well, yeah, no, but the race car, the Mercedes race car that Lewis Hamilton drove.
That's
and then they had a prototype of the brand new Aston Martin that they had under a
Nice.
British flag, and we had them take off the flag for us and get a
Pose,
picture.
we posed.
Yeah, it's bright green Aston Martin. They also had these simulators that were exactly like being in a race car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever done a race car simulator, but it's like spot on. That you're actually,
And that's how you know Mary is the race driver, because Mary was like, and Frances got sick.
yeah, she got.
I
She
mean,
was the epitome
it
of
is-
car sick.
honestly, I had a whole new respect for race car drivers.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. I mean,
mean,
it's something. It's
Yeah.
intense, really, really intense. But
Anytime
Yeah.
you're going over 150 miles an hour, you have the chance to get sick. I only know that because having skydived 3 times, once the last time I got nauseated, and I'm like, okay, no more of this. but it's just because of all the what do they call?
adrenaline.
No,
That
the
is
things that, the fighter pilots. Like I couldn't be a fighter pilot because of whatever it
the
is.
G-force.
The G-force
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
hits you.
Yeah.
And those fighter pilots also have to worry about air sickness. Like the first couple of times, you have to just, I guess, train yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like these breathing techniques. Sometimes on TikTok or Instagram, you could see the recordings of pilots when they're in that circular thing to create the G-force.
Oh.
And you see them and they have to hold and they have this breathing technique. And some of them make it, some of them pass out for like
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah,
Once
I
it
have
reaches that
seen that.
peak,
Yeah.
they need to get to a certain level
Yeah.
that when they push that plane, when they make those turns, they need to make sure that you don't pass out. Or you're making that turn.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
goes $50 million.
Yeah. I think the astronauts also have to go through
Yes.
All those guys do, the test pilots.
Yeah.
And think
Yeah.
about the Blue Angels. And
Yeah.
they're just flying like 2 inches away from each other.
Yeah. That's just
You
crazy.
can't pass out there.
Yeah.
That's crazy stuff right there.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so Francis and I accompanied the Spirit of Miami to the JP Morgan event and at the One Hotel, and again we had fun doing it. So
We did have fun.
yeah, so we do have some sponsors lined up. We're always looking for more sponsors, of course, and it is for a good cause. Just so everybody knows, we're raising money for one of Emerson's pet charities, Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, which is kind of near and dear to my heart too. I had probably their first charity event in 1985, I believe, in downtown Miami at the Southeast Financial Center. It was one of their very first. So
After all this happened to Mark.
yeah,
And then
exactly. Yeah,
Eternity and Grace is the other one, and it's a Brazilian. They started in Brazil and they're expanding into the United States. So
it's a
those are
charity for children.
a charity
Yeah.
for children, for education, and learning how to read, and getting having food when they're learning, so that they have the capacity to learn. So
Yeah, both
so
very worthy charities.
yeah.
Food in schools is very important to attract parents to send their kids to school. At least you
Yeah.
know that your kid is gonna eat, so I like that. That's very
Yeah.
cool. So how can people connect with the Car Week? I know that we have in September 30th is when we have this year the Car Week, but people reaching out, maybe sponsors or just people want to know more times, calendar.
Well, there's several ways. You can reach Mary or I by contacting us at keybiscaynecarweek@gmail.com. The phone number is 305-608-1199. We're also on Instagram at Key Biscayne Car Week and on Facebook at Key Biscayne Car Week.
Yeah, so if you could follow us on Instagram and Facebook,
We'd love
we
that.
would appreciate it. And you can contact us. This vehicle is pretty much for sponsors and also for collectors. We're looking for collectors who have vintage cars, old race cars, cool cars, cars of any kind. And I do want to reach out too. After 2019, a woman came and left a note at my toy store saying that she had the Ferrari from the show Ferrari versus Ford, or Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, that's a great movie too.
She wanted to donate that car to, or she wanted to exhibit it at the Key Biscayne Car Week on our Saturday exhibition. And unfortunately, that was 2019. We're 2022. I don't have her information anymore. So if anybody knows, or if you're watching this, if you could please reach out to Francis or I. And I'm going to give my phone number also individually, because we are, you know, in need of sponsors and collectors. So my phone is 305-815-6185. So anybody, again, who's interested in sponsoring or exhibiting their cars at our Key Biscayne Car Week, feel free to contact us.
And for all who's listening or watching, I'll put all that information in the show notes for you guys to look at. So before we close, we like to ask in Key Biscayne Stories, what is your favorite part of Key Biscayne?
You go first, Mary.
There's a lot of parts. My toy store, first of all. I love my toy store.
I love Toy Town.
But I think the thing that really makes up Key Biscayne is its people. And I love the people on Key Biscayne. It's very, very diverse. A whole bunch of different cultures, different ideas, thoughts, you know, ways of doing things. But I really embrace it. I think the people here are just so interesting and so intriguing, and they bring a lot to the Key and a lot to, you know, the intensity, the interests of Key Biscayne. And of course, I love all my loyal customers at Toy Town, which they are. But I think that it's the people that I enjoy most about Key Biscayne. Not saying I like all of them, but you know, the majority.
And for sure you, Alex.
Hope so.
And I've always loved Key Biscayne. I lived here during law school and for a couple of years afterwards. And then the man I married had a place here, so it was our second home, and then we've moved back. But I think the thing I like best about Key Biscayne is every morning I get to wake up and do my run or my walk, and there is the Atlantic Ocean. And believe it or not, I still pinch myself. I can't believe that I live in this community, as Mary said, of diverse individuals. I can walk almost everywhere and appreciate the universe and this world in such a sort of existentialistic way, all in one day, basically. So Key Biscayne is a paradise.
Yeah, it's all about the atmosphere too. I mean, it's we've seen a lot of change. Well, I've seen a lot of changes since '81, but I think it just keeps improving, and it's beautiful. And people that come here for the first time, you know, I get a lot of tourists here. They're just blown away about the beauty of Key Biscayne, and so jealous that I live here. You know, so it's good to be a part of the community. Big time.
Amazing. Mary, Francis, thank you so much. It was wonderful having you ladies on the show. I had a lot of fun.
Alex,
and looking forward for the car week.
Yeah. Key Biscayne Car Week, September
Yes.
30, October 1, 2. Join us there.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Alejandro.
And
It was
remember,
fantastic.
You're our sponsor. So so sponsor cocktail tent.
Key
You're
Biscayne
there.
Stories, one of our sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.